Hey, how's it going, guys? It's Door Shutter coming back to you with a brand new episode of All the Mods 9. Today is episode 58, and we are getting into the industrial squeezer here. And this is a very simple build, nothing too complicated, so let's just get this done real quick here. So, we're going to have all 6 scaffolding on this bottom layer, 2 fluid pipes, 1 light engineering block, so that's layer 1. Layer 2 is another light engineering block, redstone engineering block, 4 wooden barrels. On top of the 4 wooden barrels on layer 3 is going to be a steel fence here, 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 a piston in the center, and then of course we need to rotate this piston to be down. We'll use a crescent hammer to do so. Then we're going to right click in between the light engineering block and the redstone block, the engineering blocks, on that wooden barrel, and it'll activate. Okay, so we'll also need to provide this thing with power, which I have a flux point here just for that. And we need to grab some coke dust. You need 8 coke dust plus power to actually be able to make the proper ingredient that we need here, which is the HOP, I believe is what it's called. Is that what it's called? Let me make sure. HOP graphite dust. Perfect. Okay, and then this just can be smelted. I actually already made one of these just to kind of mess around with the machine to make sure I don't, so make sure I know which way we're clicking things. But anyway, this has the input here. Outputs are on the other side. And I don't think there's... Oh, so there are 2 inputs. I wasn't sure. So what we need to do is basically get connectivity from this wireless point and probably just get something going on there. So let's actually run some cable from... Actually, we could just do another wireless connector. I might as well, because I don't feel like running that much cable. So let me get that wireless connector, get this connected to a pattern provider, and then we'll get inputting items here in a second. Alright, so I got the output side configured, just a barrel that'll be pushed into and then pulled out and pushed into the pattern provider. Nothing too crazy there, but we're going to grab a sophisticated barrel on this side, I think. I was kind of wondering if this would work, in all honesty, to see if we could just input and output from the pattern provider using pipes. So let's actually give that a shot. I don't actually know if that'll work, but it's worth a shot here. I'm also shrunk here, so let me unshrink. So we'll do HOP, just 8:1 ratio, and then we'll go back down. All right, and now we'll just place this in here. And let's see if we can grab an HOP, graphite dust. Okay, so nothing. Okay, so we do need to have something. Some interface or just be able to push into it. So let's actually see if we could just directly push into it. So let's cancel this. So if I were to put this here and a cable here, would I just be able to push into it? We need to re-put that back in and then craft 1. Okay, so that does work. And actually what I could do here, by the way, instead of running that cable up, is probably just get an interface. Just put that right there. And then a cable. And then a cover. Stone. Okay. Do I have a stone cover? Or stone facade, I think is what they're actually technically called. There we go. Make that look a little bit nicer. Okay, so that does not automatically push out. So if we just get a hopper upgrade, I'm gonna keep jumping at the chance to use the sophisticated hoppers upgrades, because those are pretty nifty, honestly. They're gonna make things a lot easier, and definitely in this case a little bit cleaner for crafting up everything, which is pretty cool, not gonna lie. So what does the basic hopper upgrade give us? Does that give us enough ability to do stuff? And we probably want to swap out this. Did I put an ultimate? Yeah, I put an ultimate. I didn't want to put an ultimate. I wanted a advanced pipe upgrade. That's a little excessive. But yeah, so hopper upgrade, And then in the west direction's the one we want to pull from. Okay, so this doesn't allow for us to specify. Okay. That's fine. I was just curious. Definitely a little bit lackluster on the basic, but that's kind of the point. The basic's not supposed to be that great. So west. All right, let's do a quick test. So barrel, crescent. So that doesn't even connect. Does it connect here? Okay, so that does connect. So HOP, that should have completed that one. Oh, no, it didn't. We're having some issues. Okay, anyway, let's throw in 8 of this. Let's let that process. And does that spit out to the barrel? It does. And that's without any upgrades. So I guess this is a different... This is probably pertaining to this one, which is just kind of a weird method of doing this. So we may have to make this look a little ugly, but that's okay. We totally could probably in the future figure out a better method, maybe modular routers or something. But for now, we'll just let this slide. Everything else looks a little bit better. Not the greatest, but that's okay. All right, so actually, before we do anything, the HOP dust, is that used for anything besides smelting up to make an ingot? The HOP graphite? It does not look like it. So we could just do some sort of furnace here at this point, and then just smelt it to make an ingot immediately. And all we need to do is just grab a energy pipe and the factory augment for this section. And then just run energy pipes to this little guy. Perfect. And then here we would just output. So back is input, front is output. Okay. So now if we were to request an HOP, graphite dust, what should happen is that this should basically smelt the HOP, send that down there, perfect. And then, of course, the recipe won't complete because it's not going to give the right item. So we'll fix that here real quick. All right, to fix this, we're just going to put it back in here. Go to HOP graphite ingot. Just drag that down. There we go. And then now what we should be able to do is find the industrial squeezer, which is down here. Perfect. Put that in there. And then, of course, now we could get HOP graphite, which we're just going to run 64 of this. And, of course, once we need more coke, dust, and everything, all of those systems will start working and will start giving us what we need, which is fantastic. Okay, let me toss some stuff away here real quick. Not 100% sure what we'll still need, but we'll see. So now that that's complete, we should be able to start figuring out the rest of the recipes for this, because I don't remember where we stopped. So we did the electrum coil block. We just have not crafted the actual HV accumulator. And also we need to craft aluminum plates. And we do have a decent amount of aluminum, right? Aluminium. Almost 500,000. So we'll probably need to get more of that in the future. So let's just bookmark seeds. And of course I'll work on that off camera. I've been working on it here and there. Nothing too extreme, but definitely been working on it. So let's just get this placed in here. Let's get the recipe for an aluminum plate, which should be the multi-servo press recipe. Doesn't really matter which one we take, I guess, but we're putting it back into a multi-servo. I changed out the plate operations because multi-servo is going to be quicker with the Dragon Steel component and all that fun stuff, so I'm hoping that that's going to be the proper place. Aluminium. Okay, perfect, it is. So now we should be able to make the HV accumulator. We've already got the way to make steel. The wooden grip, pretty sure we already made that and put it in here. Perfect. And then, so the only thing now is to get the advanced electrical components. So let's figure out how this works here. Okay, so with this, we are going to need to input some items and power this. So this one's going to technically be our vacuum tube creator for right now. Okay, so we're going to need some nickel plates, which means that I'll probably need... We're going to cancel the aluminum plates, by the way. The multi-servo should have some in its backlog, but that'll be okay. So, multi-servo press. We're just going to do nickel. And of course, we'll teach this thing nickel plates as well down the line. Okay. So, nickel, glass, which is right here. Copper wire. Do we actually have copper wire? We might need to also figure out a way to autocraft that. I can spell copper. I put Cooper in there. So we do have a way of making copper wire, which I think is probably the rolling thing downstairs, isn't it? Somewhere in here. Yes, yes it is. Okay. So that should be one more ingredient that we need, and then redstone, which of course we have plenty of redstone. We'll probably get more because I have the redstone seeds that still need to be placed. Okay, so at flux, we'll just add a flux point here. Since we've got the automation of flux dust, I'm not really concerned about using too many of these. May affect performance sooner or later, but that'll be okay. So then hopper for now. Doodly-doo. So we just toss in 1, 1, 1, 1. And that'll be vacuum tubes. And this should just process. And then we'll want to grab a chest. Why did you go back that direction? Oh, there we go. So then that will be completed, right? So there's your vacuum tubes, and then the vacuum tubes would be sent off into an interface or whatever we need. So I think the way to get this working is using laser IO. Let's see. So this would be here. We'd have a barrel. And that barrel would be what we pipe into from the pattern interface. And we're going to do at laser IO item cards. Just grab a handful of those just in case. Counting filters, we'll grab a couple of those. So for here, we'd want to say insert counting filter. We'd probably only want one at a time. Actually, how does this work with multiple items? So if we just threw in all of these items, so it can hold a pretty decent amount. It's just, it needs to make sure that, okay, so if we set 64 in here, that would be fine. It has a big enough inventory to allow us to do that. Okay. Just wanted to make sure before we do anything stupid. Okay, so let's just get these all up to 64. Perfect. Okay. So that way we're not cramming it full of items. We're only just doing that. Extract, card overclockers. Do that every 5 ticks, and that should be fantastic. Okay, so what we need to do now is just get the AE2 stuff figured out, which will be the auto crafting system. So let me get, first off, another one of these placed right about here. So that'll be our assembly for the advanced electrical components, which of course is the Duroplast sheets, aluminum wire, and advanced electrical component be the result. And then that will feed back into making the railgun. So I will get the AE2 component probably set up. The wireless connector will probably go here in the ground, and then the pattern interface will go here. And then for the next one, which I think, so this is 3x3, so 3x3, that'll work right there. And then we can just have that output towards the back as well, and then we'll have it feed into an interface that we've set up down here, I think. So let me get the wireless connector point, at least the next automated engineer's workbench set up, and then we'll be right back. Oh, I didn't even notice that. Hold on. The schematic is like the vacuum tube. I wonder how the other one will look. Actually, I guess we could look here. Hold on. So if you change the components, no, it doesn't change it there. Interesting. Just, I want to see if that does if we try and craft something. But I doubt it. Cool, cool. Alrighty, so we've got most of the AE2 stuff figured out. Currently working on getting the next portion of this, which is the actual, what do you call it? Automated engineer's workbench for the advanced electrical component. Kind of forgot the name for a second there, but that's okay. And we're going to go grab card overclockers just because. And then on the down direction, we're doing the pipe. We're going to extract card overclockers, 64. We'll do every 5 ticks. And then that should be almost it. We need to actually get... Where's the counting filter one? Did I put this in another direction? I did. So this needs to be... Oh, no, it was the right direction. Okay, so counting filter. So 2, 1, that. So we can just increase this stuff to 64. That'll be fine. And that should start trying to craft. We've got it clicked on there and everything. And this does actually show the component that's being crafted, I think. It's just it takes a second after you craft it. Okay, so that ran... No, because I need a flux point over here. Kind of forget to power these machines sometimes. That is A-okay. Let's get this powered on. And now it's going to run through. And there's pipes and everything set up already for all of these machines. Fantastic. And then we should have at the end of this the advanced electrical component. Awesome. So what I should be able to do again, of course, is if I wanted to make another advanced electrical component, I could just craft one. There should be only one vacuum tube in the system. So we should see this thing activate, which I think I need to break and replace this flux point because I copy-gadgeted the actual automated engineer's workbench to make the second one, by the way. It's a very efficient way to do that. And then, of course, now vacuum tubes are there. And then over here, we should see this thing kick on any second now. There we go. Saw the items. They come down. They get worked on. And then they get pressed together. And then they get up and be pushed into here. The end result comes down to this left side for some reason, but it takes a second. There you go. Okay. So that is that done. So the next portion really is to just get a railgun, which we have not auto-crafted, but we will here. We should have everything able to be auto-crafted, and we have a railgun completion. For now, we're actually done with the immersive engineering section of this. I did not pick up an HV accumulator. I did not take one out of the AE2 system. So we'll just put this in my inventory real quick. Complete that quest. And there is that done. There is the railgun done. And that is fantastic. So the next portion really would be to get all the other stuff, like the antimatter from Mechanism. Looks like we'd have some items to craft for the star. Just a whole bunch of misc, which I think like the end exchanger, which isn't too complicated. Just requires some auto crafting there because I'm not going to craft it all by hand. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay awesome, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye bye.